In this video, I wanted to go over the data engineering roadmap. So if you're new to data engineering world, or you're switching careers from some other field and you want to learn about data and data engineering, how can you do that in this day and age? So the first thing first that I'm going to be doing if I want to be a data engineer is to learn SQL and Python. Okay, so that's the first thing I'll be doing. Learning Python and SQL will give you all the tools to do all the fancy things, whether it's data engineering, machine learning, AI, or anything like that. Okay, so the first thing is to really learn Python and SQL. Okay, so I have this website open right now here. By the way, I have no affiliation with these people at Datacamp. I have used this platform, and I use this platform actually quite a lot to learn new technologies. They have a pretty good team. They churn out pretty good content actually. So this is what I use right now one of the things that I use right now to learn and also practice some of the data engineering or data science or machine learning stuff, actually Datacamp. So here they have courses where you can learn Python and SQL. Okay, so just want to quickly show you here in this catalog section. You can go to the careers and skill tracks. Okay, in here you have these different tracks available. So if you want to be data analyst, probably you can click on this on this. This is the analyst in R. Let's go back to the other ones here. I'm not an R guy. I like Python, so I think Python is pretty versatile, pretty general purpose language that you can use for different things. I'm a big proponent of Python instead of doing R. I mean, if you're coming from academia, I understand that you'll be fixated towards R, but in my opinion, Python is the way to go. So I'm looking at these different tracks here at Datacamp. Let's say you want to be a Python developer, or let's just say you want to be a data engineer. So let's come down here and let's click on this and let's see data engineer in Python. Okay, so as you can see here, different pathways, different ways of different courses here. The first one is understanding cloud computing, introduction to Python for developers. So you can check it out. It's datacamp.com, and you can check out different career paths or skill tracks, and you can build your Python and SQL skills. The only thing is this is a paid option. I mean, there are different free options out there as well. I know. By the way, I mean, I make content as far as Python and SQL is concerned. You can go check out my channel here, Algometica on YouTube, Algometica on YouTube. So please subscribe. It will really help me out. I have a lot of videos here, and I create not just these type of information videos. I also create real coding videos, as you can see here. I have these series here where I solve Google problems, Amazon problems, SQL based problems, also pandas and PySpark based problems. So check it out. Let's see, for example, I have this Amazon Medium PySpark video, and where I'm solving second highest salary. Okay, how will you find second highest salary? So I have all this type of content actually on my YouTube channel. Coming back to Python and SQL, you can learn some of the PySpark here, which is needed, by the way, for solving some of the data problems. I have Python and SQL courses here. These are, by the way, solved in SQL and Python. This will also help you learn Python and SQL. I have this playlist here, Databricks, Database Basics, SQL for Everyone, where this is a pretty intro SQL course. This was recorded almost 10 years ago. So I'm in a process of creating new playlist actually for SQL. I'm also in the process of creating new free data engineering courses from scratch. Recently uploaded a PySpark course here. So feel free to check that out. If you want to learn PySpark and what that is, please subscribe to this channel. I'll be creating more of this type of content. So coming back here to Datacamp. So if the first thing was to learn Python and SQL, okay? The second thing is, if you have learned Python and SQL, how can you solve more problems, right? So one of the platforms that I've found is for solving these coding problems or coding questions is this site here, Stratascratch. They have these coding questions here. and you can go solve them if you want to. Okay, you can sort them out based on difficulty levels, easy, medium, and hard. Okay, and the way I do this is I usually use PostgreSQL. I love that database, Postgres. I also use Python. I also use PySpark here. So I use these three things here to solve problems. So just for my own practice, okay? So now we have covered Python and SQL. We have covered how to do some practice, okay? The third thing is to learn some cloud technologies. What is cloud technology? So with these courses that you learned at Datacamp, you got to know about, okay, how can I use pandas, for example? How can I clean my data set? Okay, you can do all that stuff. That's all well and good. But the thing is, in this day and age, we are in the age of cloud data engineering. So we have these three very popular cloud providers. Google was one of them. It's called uh, Google Cloud Platform, which is an offering from Google, GCP, Google Cloud Platform. Then we have AWS, Amazon Web Services, second. And then third, we have Azure from Microsoft. So the one that I like using is Microsoft Azure. That's the one I use. Pretty good platform for data engineering. I've been using Azure for almost 4 years now, almost 5 years now, actually. Pretty nice platform. You can do all sorts of things on it. You can create data warehouses. You can do serverless SQL. You can do big data stuff if you want to. You can do Power BI for BI analytics and stuff like that. So yeah, the third step is, again, after learning Python and SQL and doing some practice, is to learn some cloud technologies. So you can either pick AWS, you can pick Azure, you can also pick GCP. Pick one, okay? So now you have decided which one to pick. In my opinion, go with Azure. Is much easier, much more thorough, much more detailed, and it gives you a lot of good resources actually to learn data engineering and things like that. Azure has the best documentation when it comes to learning data engineering. We can directly go on Azure's page right now, Azure DP203. So that's the exam, okay? So that's the exam to become a certified Azure data engineer, okay? If you click on this guy here, and you can see Microsoft Certified Azure Data Engineer Associate. Okay, so if you scroll down here, and you will see prepare for this exam. And when you do see more, you will see all these different type of courses laid down by Microsoft, which makes your life so much easier. Let's, for example, click on this one here, build data analytics solutions using Azure Synapse Serverless SQL pools. So in this module or this course, it's actually consisted of 4 modules. This one here, second and third and fourth. Okay, so we have these 4 modules here, and all the stuff is in there. Actually, if you click on this, and you can start this, what is this about? This Synapse Serverless SQL pool. You can leverage your SQL skills to explore and analyze data in files without the need to load the data into relational database. So that's pretty good. Then you can go into this, you can finish this, you can read all that stuff. Next. You will read and learn all this stuff. You can practice as well. That's the good thing about this this platform here. Showing you right now how can you query files using a serverless SQL pool. Okay. Come down here. Let's go to the next page. Is creating external database objects. Okay, and you can also check the unit from here. And this exercise is pretty nice, by the way, because with this you can actually launch an exercise which opens up a new page where you can go and practice Azure. So we covered Python SQL, we covered a little bit of practice of Python and SQL, and then comes this beast here, right? Cloud stuff, cloud data engineering. And I suggested you to do Azure data engineering. And by the way, you can see how easy that was, right? To Google that stuff. I just did this, Azure DP203, right? That's what I did. And I went on this first link, and all the stuff is out there, right? The only thing is, I mean, if you want to practice more of the Azure stuff, the one thing you can do is to do a pay-as-you-go plan. You can create an account on Azure using going to this link portal.azure.com. And with that, you can actually create your account. And I guess the only thing is you will have to use a credit card, and it's a very small amount that you will have to pay if you're cautious with your budgeting and how you spend money on Azure. But you will need a credit card. You will have to pay, but it's a very small amount. And take into account that you will actually learn a lot. I think it's a good investment actually. Out of all the resources that I mentioned, I think Datacamp is pretty good, but learning Microsoft Azure will give you an edge when it comes to the job market. Okay, so definitely look into Azure data engineering program. You can also get certified if you're pretty comfortable with it. Azure DP 203, you can get that exam. So that's the cloud technology part, right? So as I mentioned earlier, that I have a PySpark um, sort of like a crash course on my YouTube channel. PySpark is a very neat thing. Okay, PySpark actually is one of the big data technologies, as you can say, big data technologies that really help you analyze um, distributed data sets. Okay, data sets that are labeled as big data. You need to know PySpark for that, because that's like the de facto standard right now in the market to learn um, big data stuff. Okay, so learn PySpark. How can you learn PySpark? I mean, go on my channel, you will see the PySpark course. But if you don't want to do that, you can just do Google search. Google, right? Let's go to Google here and let's do PySpark tutorial. Okay. So PySpark tutorial, all these sponsored links show up, right? But the first thing that I want to do is actually do a quick start here. Quick start on the PySpark here. Let's see. You can actually follow this interactive tutorial if you want to. But I think there's a one more here that I want to actually go to. Databricks here, PySpark. Let's do PySpark tutorial, PySpark documentation. Let's do that, okay? And yeah, so there you have it. I love this. I love this page here. So this is PySpark 3.5.3 documentation. I mean, at the time of recording this video, this is the version that I'm dealing with, PySpark 3.5.3. So just click on that, and it just gives you like a brief, very nice overview of PySpark. Okay, I've covered this in my YouTube video as well on this PySpark course. By the way, it's here. This is the course. Again, it's an ad. And this is the course, PySpark full course using Azure Databricks. Okay. So we were talking about the PySpark, right? So learn PySpark after you have done Python SQL, you have dabbled into Azure ecosystem when it comes to data engineering. Then learn PySpark. And this page right here is a pretty good page and gives you an overview of exactly what PySpark is. I mean, as you can see at the bottom here, foundation, we have RDDs. On top of RDDs, we have Spark SQL and data frames, Pandas API, which are built on top of Spark core and RDDs. We have structured streaming, we have machine learning and stuff like that. Okay, so pay attention to that. Learn PySpark whichever way you want to, and then look into something called Azure Databricks. Okay, because since I love Azure ecosystem, I mean, Databricks is a cloud offering from the people who created PySpark. Okay, the people who created actually PySpark also later on created something called Databricks. Okay, so this is databricks.com. They are a platform. Okay, they are a platform that actually provides you with all the functionalities now when it comes to data engineering. Some people can argue that they are sort of competing with Azure ecosystem, okay, which they are in a way. But the funny thing is, Azure also offers you Azure Databricks. So Databricks is part of Azure cloud system, okay. It's pretty neat platform. They have a couple competitors out there, like Snowflake is one of the competitors. I mean, if you're coming from a SQL heavy background, I think you will like Snowflake, but Databricks actually provides a lot of those functionalities as well, like SQL, Python, PySpark, stuff like that. Pretty neat platform. So learn that as well. I mean, I know I've been talking about a lot of things that learn this, learn that, but you know what? These things, if you follow them one by one, they will really help you. Like Databricks, for example, I see a lot in the job market right now. I see a lot of job descriptions that have Databricks in it, and they're looking for Databricks data engineers. Okay, so learn this. How would I learn it? What would I suggest to you? Go on Azure when you sign up with Azure, and go what's the word for it? Start up a Databricks instance. And I know it's going to cost some money, so be mindful of that. I'm not going to create a video on that right now, how to do the budgeting and stuff like that, but you will have to be mindful so that you don't incur a lot of charges on your credit card. So Databricks is one of those things. Learn it. If you're looking for some Databricks courses, I'm actually creating a Azure Databricks course right now for my channel. I'm also creating actually an Azure data engineering course right after the Databricks stuff. Or maybe I can be doing that before Databricks. I'm not sure yet. But I'm also creating data engineering courses when it comes to Azure. Like Synapse Analytics, I think will be the one I'll be creating very, very soon. Maybe like next couple of days, you will see that on my channel. Azure Synapse Analytics stuff, which is good for data warehousing and stuff like that on Azure. We will do a lot of that deep dive in that course. Okay, so be mindful, and I'll be really grateful if you can subscribe to my channel, Ashley, because I'll be covering a lot of that stuff when it comes to Azure or Databricks. On Udemy, if you're looking for courses where you can learn Azure or Databricks and stuff like that, I would like to give some shout out here. Some pretty good couple courses here. So if you do Azure Data Engineering DP203, this course right here by Alan is a pretty good course here. DP203 Data Engineering on Microsoft Azure. A pretty nicely done course by Alan. By the way, I have no affiliation with these people. I'm just giving them a shout out because they have done a good job in this field of data engineering. This is a pretty good course when it comes to DP203. There's one more course for Databricks now by this guy here, Azure Databricks. Let's search for that. Let's see what we get. This one here, as you can see, is a top course here, right? Azure Databricks and Spark for data engineers, hands-on project. Okay, so let's open this here. This course is also pretty good if you're looking for courses on Udemy. So this is sort of my list here. Okay, I started with Datacamp. I suggested that you do your Python and SQL learning there, but they also have a complete tracks for data engineers or data analysts or data scientists, whatever you want to be. You can start there. You have a lot of different options, but they all start with foundations and basics of Python and SQL. Okay, so after that, go learn some cloud technologies. Like I would suggest Azure, and then after that, learn PySpark, and then learn Azure Databricks. I showed you some examples from Udemy. That was good. And one more thing I want to really focus on here is algorithms and data structures, okay, for data engineers. I know there are a lot of theories out there that as data engineers, we don't need that stuff, right? And I kind of agree with that. I sort of agree with that. The only thing is, in some of these fancy companies, the so-called FANG companies, or FANG, whatever you want to call it, they are always asking these type of questions about data structures, algorithms, and things like that. Okay, so I would really advise you to focus on, maybe you can do that in parallel after learning Python and SQL, some Leetcode based problems. Okay, so on the Leetcode, yeah, a lot of different things, but they also have a lot of different products here. They have a lot of different courses here, actually. I don't know if I can actually search this. Let me move myself down here. Product. I'm looking for, let's see, what am I looking for here? I'm actually looking for a data engineering, not data engineering, actually. I'm looking for Leetcode DSA course. So, okay, this one here. Yeah, this course right here, I feel like it's a pretty good course when it comes to data structures and algorithms and learning data structures and algorithms. Again, I have no affiliation with Leetcode, but I'm just suggesting if you're going for an interview make sure you actually learn some data structures and algorithm. This is my suggestion of how you can quickly do it. Okay, it's nicely organized here with arrays and strings hashing. If you click on this one, you will see a bunch of you will see some text which they will explain what hashing is, and then you will have some problems and things like that. So pretty nicely structured. There are some free courses out there as well on YouTube. You can go look for that. A lot of courses on Udemy as well, learning data structures and algorithms. But this is my opinion. If you want to learn it quick, I mean, this is one of those things. Learn data structures and algorithms. The second thing is for interviews is another good thing that also can help you become a good data engineer is system design. Okay, learn system design so that you know how systems are designed and where how the data flows. So also learn something called Docker. It's good for containerization and stuff. So Docker is a set of platform as service product that use OS level virtualization. So it sort of creates a virtualization. It's sort of like it creates, so you know, like how you're creating apps and stuff on your local machine on your laptop, right? But you can actually package all that stuff, like your whole environment, into what's called a Docker image. Okay, so if your code works on a laptop with this image, you can also make sure that that same program works everywhere else. Okay, so just a very high level overview of what Docker is. So learn Docker. It will help you with a lot of things in your career. There's Docker, there's Kubernetes, and there's some other stuff as well, but start with Docker. Okay, what else? I think that's pretty much it. I think one more thing I want to cover is the streaming part, right? The thing is, the things that I just covered also contain some of the streaming aspects. For example, when you're looking at Azure stuff, they have streaming capabilities. Azure Databricks also has streaming capabilities. So you can look into that, structured streaming. What is streaming? I mean, for example, you're working with IoT devices, Internet of Things devices. They're constantly streaming you data, right? How can you process that? So Azure has its own way of doing it. Databricks also provides functionality for doing it. So you can look into that streaming. But in my opinion, just start with the basics, okay? Python, SQL, learn that. After that, move on to a cloud provider of your choice. I would suggest Azure. There are free resources out there on Azure Data Engineering Path. This one right here. Prepare for exam. Learn all this stuff. After that, learn PySpark, learn Azure Databricks, and also learn, in my opinion, some algorithms and data structures. Okay. After that, you can do all the fancy things in the world, like structured streaming and things like that. I know it was a long video. I just wanted to cover the things that I feel will help you make a great data engineer. And it's never too late, by the way. Okay, so take it easy and enjoy the process. I'll be creating or revising this video again in 6 months from now. Thanks for watching.